ya me decía para
Please
empezar.
welcome to the stage your moderator.
Blake Harris.
Do we have any Arrow fans in the audience?
Mira,
That
dile,
was
güey,
actually a really
enséñale.
good clap thing, or whatever they call it. Give me one more. We have the Arrow fans. Let's go. Let's give it up. Manu Bennett, Echo Kellum, and Rick Gonzalez. So guys, how's San Jose treating you? San Jose is lovely.
So great.
I think there are a couple people here, a couple fans. Yeah. So let's talk about it. Crisis on Earth X. That was insane. Y'all like Crisis on Earth X? What was the coolest part for y'all filming that episode? This right here. This right here.
Love it. Getting to, work with some of the dopest superheroes out there.
Well, that
can answer that one. Come on.
Well, I mean, yeah, I have to echo. But that's what I remember is being in the Wave Rider with everyone. And just have, and those are the moments that I remember. I'm like, this is just beyond cool. So it's weird to hear my echo.
I'm gonna echo that echo.
It's like we're in heaven. Like this light and that. Where are we, guys? Did we? Sorry about Oliver's mother. No, honestly.
So where's Slade?
Man, Slade was crazy in those 2 episodes. Great. I got jealous. I'm like, why can't Wild Dog go crazy and do something like that? I don't know. I gotta talk to Mark.
Yeah. I mean, I'm lucky because Oliver and every time we add on a little bit of a layer here and there, it just helps kind of draw that story out. Sometimes I'm missing Arrow, and there's been times when it's been a year and a half between Oliver and the rest of the cast, but Stephen and they humanized Slade rather than demonized the character was a relief for me, because I've always been of the idea that Deathstroke from the DC Comics, Marv Wolfman's character, has a more integrity than, so being able to sink myself back into the legend of Deathstroke, and bring out some of the characters like his son, and a mention of his other son, and a mention of his wife, and whatnot, open up to potentially other parts that can be explored.
And that says a lot about you as an actor too, that you can play those dual roles as well.
I enjoy it when it's grey matter real. We all deal with that, don't we? So it's something that I enjoy doing,
Lining up, we have a couple microphones here and there. So I was watching the multiverse, it just keeps getting crazier and just more amazing. Like, where do you see the multiverse to go?
I mean, I hope that we can start including more iconic characters from the DC universe, and that we can continue to kind of grow it in a way that would make them excited. That, for the, characters that you're excited about, that they can interact with us. So, but I really do like the idea that WB and DC have been able to take smaller characters like Wild Dog, and kind of give him an origin and give him a face and give him his time to be created and to rub elbows with the Green Arrow and Deathstroke and, even Mr. Terrific, and just, I think those things are cool. So, I mean, I think that hopefully we can expand and get to that level.
I mean, one of the coolest parts from this season, and it was such a little small part, but I remember when I found out that we were gonna do it, it was so cool that even Steven name dropping Bruce Wayne in an episode, it was like so dope that, it's like, yeah, we are all in this world, in this universe, and so, just to see any of them come in,
Bruce Wayne.
Yeah, Bruce Wayne. But even like, Superman coming in on Supergirl, I mean, it really is amazing the array of characters that have been able to be involved in, the DC TV universe and whatnot. And I would love to see us even, mess around with Gotham and, all these properties that are under Warner Brothers. It'd be really cool.
And now Robin is around, so who knows?
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Get us some questions over here.
Hi, my name's Randy. I'm here from Las Vegas, and I know you were just saying about how Slade being humanized, but we also all kind of view Slade as like the mega boss. He's someone who continues to haunt Oliver. He had a huge influence on him and what he's gone through. With that in mind, who would last longer in a fight with Slade, Mr. Terrific or Wild Dog?
Let's get it on. Wouldn't that be a big turnout for a Comic-Con? Like, they went at it on the stage. It was awesome, man. They were like throwing chairs and shit. You know what I mean? The power's in the pen, darling. Sometimes characters become popular and so they start writing stuff. Just depends on what those guys there in the office have in mind. My experience on Arrow has really been quite limited to only a couple of characters. And when I met these guys on set originally, like we all go, hey, bro, yeah. But it'd be nice to sort of, be more involved with some of the other characters. But in its own way, it's been nice to be intimate and stay in the Oliver world, Mm.
Thank you.
So I think in short, Mr. Terrific.
No. No. Wild Dog wins.
Wild Dog.
Over here.
Who was your favorite character to work with on Arrow? And then who was your favorite character to work with in the crossover? And Manu, who would you have wanted to work with in the crossover?
I'll answer the Manu one. I always love working with Emily Bett. There's a special place because through her character is kind of where Curtis came into the scene at Palmer Tech, and I just remember how warm and welcoming and open she was to me from the first second I stepped on stage, and made me feel like I was a part of the show from the beginning, so that I always have a really special place in my heart. And then the first day I worked actually was her birthday too, so it was like this added thing at midnight. She turned like 24. She's so young that it makes me mad. But it was just, that's always been one of the best things in the world, was coming on that first time and feeling like a part of the team. And there was a lot of Emily Bett who did that. And then the rest of the cast were just like that too, and I got to work with everybody else. So as a crossover, I love working with Grant. He's such a good dude.
I actually met him in Vancouver.
Nice, yeah, and he's just like a great captain of the ship on Flash, and he brings so much energy and charisma.
I think I waited 2 hours to meet him.
That's funny, he made me wait 2 hours to Aquatown. Yeah, that's him. No, but he's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think for me, on Arrow, working with Paul Blackthorne, I feel like this has been such, great chemistry in our scenes, and
He's
I think
the only Arrow character I haven't met yet.
Okay, well, we got to change that. You got to change that. He's a great guy, and I think on the crossover, I think.
They can't be from your show.
No. I'm gonna say Supergirl, working with Melissa. I think it was cool because I think I had a scene with her last year with her and Grant in the crossover, and that was really fun. And I just like the idea of Wild Dog kind of throwing his dark energy in front of her gleefulness, and just kind of
That's what she said.
Manu.
But yeah. I think those, yeah.
Katie Lotz is a lot of great energy and fun. Katie's really just
So is that your favorite from Arrow, or is that your person you wish you could have worked with in the crossover?
well.
You can
Have
only
you
pick
watched
one.
the show? Okay, no. Okay, so on the crossover, probably, I don't know, Gannicus or Spartacus?
Good answer.
And then I have one more question. Echo, what was it like playing a gay guy, and are you actually gay?
Dang, just throw my sexuality right out.
Ooh, that's two questions. On to the next one.
Let's go over here.
Who we got over here?
I have an individual question for Manu and Rick. I hope that's okay. For Manu, it was a pleasure to see you at SF Comic Con last year, and we appreciate your time. So I was hoping you could bless us with another Haka experience, and if I could go on stage with you and perform it.
You know what, later on you and I'll get together and do our own little under the moonlight it's a three-way situation here, buddy, so I can't steal the stage. But thank you, and you know, I hope there will be a time where I can get up here in San Jose and do the haka, because it's something I'm very proud of as a Maori. Very cool thing. But thank you. Cheers.
And I don't mean to steal the spotlight away from anyone else, but Rick, I was hoping you could share a little bit more about your hip-hop experience, and specifically with Sway as a testament to your talent as an artist and an actor.
Ah, man, yeah. For many years, I was, pursuing a career in hip-hop music, and I think what I took away from that was just being blessed enough to be around so many talented artists and rappers and people that I looked up to working with, and just having those moments, man, where I'm like on the radio, and hearing myself and seeing that is like dream come true. So, I guess in the same way as being an actor, just being able to be on stage and working with these guys, and it's just always a blessing. And that's how I look at, that short time I had with music. It was just a great experience, and I always cherish it.
Thank you, big fan of all of you guys.
Yeah.
So we got a lot of questions. Everyone just one question each. No.
My question is actually for Mr. Bennett. Stay. I was wondering how your background more in dance helps or even hinders a lot of these action-based roles you have to play.
Oh, what you was just speaking about a second ago, being an artist, there's so many threads to it, there's so many things that can help you to become an artist, your movement, your voice, your sense of emotion. All of these things are just like the paint that an artist uses, or the music that a piano player uses. So getting anything that really helps bring out performance is a bonus. Anybody out there, any young people who want to become an actor or a musician or whatever, whatever you do to express yourself is so. I went to Greece last year. I'll try to make this really quick. I went to Greece last year and I saw the very first amphitheater that was ever built in 1000 BC in a place called Epidavros. Okay, and they were medicine people, and the reason why they built this amphitheater was because they believed the voice being projected into an audience had a healing quality. When I heard about that, I suddenly thought, you know what? That's the key. Because when you're sitting at home in your box and I'm going through pain and you're feeling that pain, or we're going through happiness, or we're having strong moments and you're feeling those strong moments, that's the exchange of energy that art allows, whether it's through music, painting, acting, whatever. So, yeah, that's my answer to that question.
Thank you.
That's great. Over here.
This is a question for Rick. Hope that's okay. How would you describe Wild Dog's relationship with Felicity as of this moment in the show?
I think his relationship with Felicity is not a great. It's kind of strained a little bit. I mean, I think
that's what she said.
I left myself open for that one. He doesn't exactly get along with. He doesn't hate her. He doesn't dislike her. I mean, I think he just looks at her as someone who, believes everything that Oliver feels is right in terms of how he handles the team, and she echoes those sentiments, and I think that frustrates Wild Dog in some ways, because I think Wild Dog has his own sensibility and idea of how things should be run for the team, and I mean that strictly in terms of like when Wild Dog's in the field and some of the choices that he has to make in the field, and I think when he gets back to the bunker and there's this conversations happening, there's a frustration that she echoes from Oliver, Wild Dog the wrong way, and I think that little frustration is there. But needless to say, he does respect her and what she brings to the table.
Thank you.
Over here.
Questions for Manu. Your characters, like back with Spartacus and with Deathstroke, you started out like a character where everybody hated, but then after a while they get to like you and get to love your character and who you become. Is there anything?
I just think, as an actor, I like to think that, whenever I get a role, and I think about what's the long story of this character. I'll tell you just one very quick example of in Spartacus. Well, this is one example in life, really. I was in a car accident when I was a kid. My mother and brother were both killed, and I was in a coma for 2 weeks. When I woke up in the hospital, the guy who was my worst enemy was the first person I saw when I woke up. And the reason why he was there, and I had no idea, I just hated this guy, and he hated me. He had a mullet haircut and wore black t-shirts with death metal, and would walk around going and I wore gel in my hair and did break dancing and ballet, and I was like a different dog to this guy, right? And when we were around each other, it was like, come on, man, come on. And it was really heated, and to wake up in such a weak and vulnerable position, finding out my mother and brother had just died, having, the worst enemy changed my perspective on what the long story is. And then I found out that he'd lost his mother when he was young. And when he heard that I was in a car accident and my mother was killed, he came to the hospital immediately and came in and stood by my bedside for a couple of days, even when I was unconscious. And I was the best man at his wedding. Him and I are really good friends. And when I was in those scenes in Spartacus, when I was standing there and going to Spartacus, in the changing rooms, your wife is like, getting right in his face. I was playing what I believe was he and I. And I knew that Spartacus and I were going to become friends later. But I wanted to make the audience hate the person because I realized that out of hatred comes the greatest love if you could turn it around. It's a big lesson.
This is for Manu. What's your favorite part of being Deathstroke?
Having a kid like you come and ask me what's my favorite thing about being Deathstroke, kid. Hey, kid. What's your name? Xander, put it here. Thanks for your question. Hey, nice one. Actually, come up here quick. Just quickly. Come up here with me. Jump up.
Yeah. What's up, man?
What's up? This kid is like so cool.
Everybody take a selfie and post this thing out there. Huh? That's what it's like, kid. It's like you're in front of people all the time. And it's not a bad energy sometimes. So, thanks, man. Jump on down.
So this is for all of you. If you can be a character in any TV show, past or present, besides Arrow, what TV show and which character?
Wild Dog.
That is for all of us. If I could be a character in any TV show?
Yeah, past or present.
Boba Fett. I'll just throw that one out there. Wild Dog?
I would want to be a character maybe on MASH or The Love Boat.
I'm sorry, MASH was the show. When that show started coming on when I was a kid, that's when we knew it was time to go to sleep. It's like, oh, MASH is coming on. Guess TV's over tonight.
That's a great show.
I love the love boat. The love boats are on.
Love boat. I like
it.
love
Awesome.
Love boat. I watch TV late at night.
You watch Nick at night, late at night. That's it.
No, well,
Come on, Echo. It's your turn, brother.
I feel like I would want to be like Kramer on Seinfeld or something.
Wait,
What time was bedtime?
I feel like there was a moment. Okay, I think I could say this. We shot an episode that's coming up soon, and I literally told Echo, I said, I feel like you're Kramer walking into my place. But it was like an amazing moment. It felt like a sitcom. I'll leave that amongst you. Leave that amongst you.
Okay.
Hi, this is a question for Echo. Whenever you're shooting those scenes when you're throwing a T-sphere, do you actually throw something?
Yeah, I just injure a lot of the crew. But I'm committed to do it. You guys gotta commit right along beside me. Honestly, it fluctuates. Sometimes I am able to throw it, and how that stuff going in, but it just fluctuates.
He's hit me in the face with it sometimes.
That has nothing to do with us being on set.
No.
Just, you talking.
This is a confessional.
Hi, this question is for Rick. I was really happy when I saw you were cast for Arrow because I loved you in Reaper. And
Thank you.
Almost everything you've seen you in, you kill it every
Thank
time.
you.
So I was kind of wondering how you like being on another show again and getting constant work with everybody over and over again, get the character developed more and more.
Ah, man, it's so great. I mean, I think Echo mentioned earlier, like working with Mbet, she welcomed him, and that was the same reaction that I got from everyone. Was just a comfortable environment. Everyone just making it safe for me to come in and create this character, and then loving how the writers just took the energy in that blossom. So if I interacted with Echo early on in season 5, I saw more scenes at the end of season 5 for us to connect, and that also allowed itself to grow into season 6. I think that all lends itself to a cast that's humble and that wants to create a safe environment for all of us to just create. And I love that, and I'm just enjoying it. I'm enjoying the ride.
Yeah, just know we the most humble cast that's ever been.
Yo,
that's right.
Don't mess with my humbleness. Yeah.
If you could choose any superpower for your character to have, what would you choose?
I'm gonna go shapeshifting. Just be able to become anybody or an object. Like I can just create scissors out of my hands if I want to. That's such a whack thing. Scissors.
I could just make the scissors.
I just make household items with my hands. All right, pot time. Time to cook. But
I just want to remove transportation out of my, just get there. I'm there. I'm back in San Jose.
To the ability.
Hi, so this question's for Manu. So first of all, I want to say your portrayal of Deathstroke is freaking awesome. And so I was wondering, how do you feel about Joe Extended Universe portrayal of Deathstroke, and would you ever like them to meet or fight?
I'll tell you a little story. About 5 years ago, maybe even 6 years ago, maybe even 7 years ago, because my memory's getting worse as I get older. But I met Joe Manganiello at Sandy sat down, and we had a really, really awesome conversation. Both of us had some similarities, in growing up. But I remember it being such a pleasant conversation, and then I rang Joe a couple of times when I was in LA, and we spoke, and so him and I have a history of being friends. And to be honest, when he was announced to do this role, I was very, very happy for him. Of course, I was a little bit disappointed that you know that I wouldn't get to do such a wonderful opportunity of getting onto that big screen with Deathstroke. But listen, you know, I've had the wonderful opportunity to be a TV actor and to spend the time it takes to cook a character. And sometimes I don't think you get that chance when you're on the big screen. But as for Joe's ability to get up there and do this character, I'm behind him. I hope as much as everybody else is behind him. You know, we have a word in Maori called te tautoko somebody, which means to give them your best afi, your best feeling of support. And I give Joe my best feeling of support, and I hope he gets up there and does a fucking great job, kid.
One more question over here. Okay. Hey, this is more for Manu. The Arrowverse kind of started all these TV shows, and there's rumors now, actually not even rumors, it's confirmed that there's a Titans show in project. Deathstroke was originally a Titans villain. Is there any chance we're going to see you in that show? Has there been any talk?
There's been no discussion about that, and I don't know. The power's in the pen, that's all I got to say about that. Can we just have one more question that's just for us all? Yeah. Thank you, brother. Really, no idea. Power's in the pen.
Okay.
And in the audience saying what they want.
Well, we want it, so.
Yeah. Right. I love the character. It'd be great to make more of it. Yeah.
Thank you so much. All right, one more question.
How are you gonna tie in Grant Wilson to the Arrow? Because he already appeared on Legends of Tomorrow.
Grant Wilson will show up, as I say, when the writers make that choice. There's been no discussion about it yet, but when they've mentioned him, they've mentioned other characters, you know, now in the Deathstroke world. Okay, so when they decide to make more of that, I've heard nothing. But you know, as I say, kid, I sit around for a year and don't hear anything from this show. Then all of a sudden they send me an email saying you have to be in Vancouver next week, sign a contract, and I'm like, okay, right. But then I get up here and I know that year after year I get to come back and see the fans, and something's happened. So let's hope something happens there. Somebody.
Who has one for everybody? With your hand raised, jumping up and down.
That kid's got to remember that hand gesture.
Do you guys? Oh, well.
What's happening, kid?
Do you guys ever feel like you're the actor? I mean, you're the actual person that you're playing instead of yourself?
Why, kid?
I don't know what the fancy word for that is.
I do keep my promises.
Thank you.
What about you guys?
Yeah. I bring Wild Dog home sometimes.
That's what she said.
Echo, you know, I bring Wild Dog home sometimes too. You know.
That's what they said.
Guys, you can't end any better than that. Give it up one more time. Team Arrow, Manu, Rick, Echo. Let's see them at their booth the rest of the weekend. Thank you guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
Love you guys.